welcome everyone. So today, usually in our meetings, we usually have a room charge, but today the entry is free. And then apart from that, we also have amazing speakers. And all this is proudly brought to you by the MGK Foundation.
The MGK Foundation is an offshoot of, it was started by an audit firm, MGK Consulting. It was started as a way of giving back to society, more to businesses, capacity building of businesses, especially in the area of financial management. It has now been running for 2 years, and the programs that we've been running are basically 3. That is training in the area of business planning and financial management. The second area we've been focusing on is knowledge sharing, and lastly is business networking.
A round of applause for the MGK Foundation.
Good evening, everyone. We are now right on time for the moderated panel discussion. So I will start with you, Roy. Somebody asked, how do you unlock entrepreneurial potential from an idea to a business?
I think a lot of us, we have ideas. There's a lot of us with good ideas, but we are so scared to execute. I think that's the biggest issue. I think getting through the fear of, because most of us, we're scared. We're not scared of failing. We're scared because we think we look stupid. So we think our parents will tell, or your friend, nilikwambia kitu itafanya. So getting over that fact, I think the fear of being ridiculed keeps a lot of people where they are.
Now that I have become a little more like, yeah, I can do this, MK. Somebody asked, what are the realities of starting a business?
Well, I must say, starting a business is challenging. Let's be real. It's tough. But again, life is hard. And I think those who realize and accept that life is hard, then you move on and start tackling the challenges of life. So similarly with business is tough. But does that mean that you don't do it? No. I would like to hear whoever said yes. So, yeah, I'll reach out to you. So you start and deal with the challenges that the business throws your way.
I'm starting a business today. What does the tax landscape look like? What do I need to do? There's people who've asked about VAT, income tax, all of that.
Sure, thanks. So, yes, if you started a small business, as I've said, you start a business because you want to make an extra income. So ideally, yes, based on those profits that you've paid, then you are required to pay taxes. So there are very different tax obligations which are there. So for instance, when you register a company, you will find that as a mandatory obligation is normally the corporate tax. Because for you to be, running that company and you've made profit. So basically the corporate tax is normally based on the profit that you've made in that company. So the revenue less the expenses and whatever you've made with the profit, then 30% of that goes to KRA. So there are some other obligations, like let's say for example you have employees, so on a monthly basis then you need to be able to deduct pay as you earn and remit that to KRA. If you've reached a threshold of, let's say, for example, you are dealing with, let's say, professional services like Antoinette, and you've hit a threshold of, let's say, 5 million, or you anticipate to have a threshold of 5 million in a particular year, then you are required to register for VAT. So for the obligation, they will, not all of them will really kick in. It also really depends on the nature of business that you are running. So depending on the nature of business, then you'll find that sometimes you might have the obligation for income tax, pay as you earn, VAT, but there are some which will only have, let's say, income tax alone or pay as you earn alone. So depending on the nature of business that you're engaging in.
Final question. This is for you, AAA. You have the mic, actually. This is perfect. You're the one who has drummed into my head that 70% of businesses do not survive beyond 5 years. Somebody asked, I have survived 5 years, what next?
Either you're really lucky, but more likely is that there's something you're doing right. And you need to take a break at that point and identify what it is you're doing right. If you hadn't already done it at the beginning, take a pause and look at your business and say, do I have the fundamentals right? Do I have things in a place? Am I treating my employees right? Am I paying my taxes? Am I doing all those things? Because beyond the 5 years now, if you are doing the right things, your business is going to start rising with not too much effort from your part, because you probably have got your customer base right, you've got your product right, you've got your delivery base right, you've got your price right. So people are liking what you're selling or whatever it is, and you've hit 5 years, you're going to start rising. So you have to understand what it is that got you there that you need to grow and scale up. So it's a good point to take a break. A message from the sponsor. Call MGK Foundation and tell them, guys, I need you guys to help me look at my business, because from here, I could get really, really big. So do an assessment, figure out what you're getting right, where do you need the help. Maybe this is the time you need to hire that accountant. I don't know. Maybe this is the time you need, maybe to take a loan to buy more stock or whatever it is. But you won't know if you don't stop and say, hey, what is it that I'm doing right that I need to build on? So in very short, answer, that's what I would say. But congratulations, whoever you are.
Thank you, and congratulations, that one individual. All right, questions?
Hi, I'm interested in knowing, you've said if your business meets a threshold of like 5 million, so does that mean if your business is not meeting revenue of 5 million, then you're okay, you just file nil?
So if your turnover is below 5 million, then you don't need to register for VAT, right? If you can, if unless the organizations you are dealing with are actually specifically asking you for a VAT registration, so you don't need to register, and that is it's actually taxes are a burden, both in terms of financial and administrative. So you only register for the taxes that you need to, that you're obliged to. So if you're trading and it's below 5 million and there's no customers are demanding that you must register, then don't. So that you don't have to be charging, you don't have to be filing returns on a monthly basis, etc., etc.
So if I register a business name today, and then I use it for some time, and then in the near future I want to convert it into maybe an LLC or something else. Once I make that switch, do I still have the period that I did when I registered the business name, ama ikiswitch hivyo tunaanza fresh?
If you register a business name and then you transit it into a company, you can show, there's a trail that shows the continuation from your status, one status to the next. And what a lot of organizations who are asking for these requirements of you must be in business for 5 or 10 is they want to see a track record of how you have been doing business. So you can still use the record while you are a business name, add it onto the record of while you are now a company, because that even shows you're progressing as an entity. There's a lot more requirements for compliance for a company than there is for a business name. So an entity that wants to do business with you, I think that will be an advantage for you, because they see, hey, this person has grown, their business has, and now they're a company. And the important thing is that you have met your compliance obligations over this period. So while you're a business name, as well as while you're a company. Because they're looking to see that you are a consistent business person, you have some income coming in, you can manage your business, and you're paying your taxes. Yeah.
You've talked about the many tax categories that exist when you're running a business, but tell us then, how do we tax evade or avoid? I know the two things. Tax avoidance basically is legal in the sense that you are using the laid down regulation which the government has provided to sort of like pay less taxes to the government. So for instance, let's say for example you are like an employee, right? So you are earning a salary of 100,000. So you want, for a reason or another, you want to reduce the taxes that you are paying to the government. So if like you contribute to a pension, the first 20,000 in a month is tax free, right? So again, also there's some. I believe you've heard about of special economic zones. So for a company, you can decide to sort of like set up in a special economic zone. So if you set up in a special economic zone, you'll find out that for the first 10 years, you get a reduced corporate tax of 10% instead of 30%. So those are basically scenarios whereby you can sort of like utilize so that you can pay less taxes to the government, and it is legal, by the way. So with regards to evasion is basically where you already know that you are supposed to pay taxes to the government, but you decide to operate under the radar, in the sense that, let's say for example, you are a company, right? So you decide to claim fictitious expenses that you have not incurred. So you will pay less taxes to the government, yes, but then again, that's not allowed, because you are claiming expenses which ordinarily you have not incurred.
So I have been running my business for the past 3 years, Sister Locks by Faith. I'm running a service, and they have started becoming so many competitors in the field. How can I maintain that quality and my pricing and continue having clients and not having them all the time? Faith, there's somebody doing it lower like that. Yeah, thanks.
So I'll say this. When you're in an industry like that, please don't do that price dance. You have to focus on product. So if I was you, if probably you do locks and most of the, can you do a pedicure or manicure at half the price? Add something else. You get, so you separate yourself from that. You're not in the same category with the other people anymore. They're talking about price. You're focused on product. So you need to add something else. Either that, or maybe you've made your own natural products and you go to do the locks with them, so you've saved them on some cost. You understand? Focus on the price. Please don't do that limbo for price.
I believe we have learned quite a bit from them.
Thank you so much for the amazing presentation. Thank you so much for coming. Let us continue to collaborate, inspire, and build on the momentum created here today. Thank you once again, and we look forward to seeing you at our next event.
For every Rotary and Rotaract club represented here, to Rotary the world over. Fellowship ends, I believe swallowship is at? Yeah, got it. Thank you.